Now, these speeches are the focal points of the class and are obviously worth 100 points for the speech and 100 points for the material. So they're a big part of your grade. A couple of things that I noticed that y'all were doing in your speeches, particularly if you use Screencastify, which I'm using Screencastify right now. And one thing you're doing is you're leaving the speaker frame too small. And so in many instances, I'm seeing a very small speaker frame and oftentimes down here in the corner. So go ahead and move it into a better position. Let it occupy 1/2 the size of the screen, and then let your visual aid occupy the other half of the screen. Now, another thing that we're noticing is you're following what you see in your classes in many cases, and you're using a lot of text and bullet points as your visual aid. But the key word here is visual. So this is a typical slide that I see from students. And let's say my speech is on blood donation. So I have a slide here that says emergency needs for blood. And I've got 4 categories: auto accidents, transplant, burn victims, and heart attacks. Now, if I wanted to draw your attention to one of these, I might, I might put a little animation for auto accidents. But basically, I'm going to tell you, unless you can not think of any other way to visualize your slides, try not to use text as visual aids, because you're actually speaking the text. So why show what you say? So let's take a look and see how we might fix this with emergency needs for blood. So remember to put a strong title on the top of your visual aid. In this case, I don't think my visual aid is highlighted well enough, so I'm going to add a border. And also, if you notice, I've made this visual aid myself. I didn't go to Google and get an infograph that has too much information. I'm using one that I made that's clean and says exactly what I want it to say. Now, let's say I get to a point in my speech where I want to highlight one of the needs, and it's transplant victims. Now I'm free to somehow highlight that with an arrow, or in this case, a circle around it. So moving on, here I've made another slide. It's the market share of cell phones. And you can see here I'm using a pie chart. So I've made this one, and I didn't go to Google and borrow a graph, which I don't really care if you do, but I think if you make your own, you're going to have a better look to your visual aid, because it'll be cleaner and say exactly what you want. Now, here again, you notice that this visual aid needs something. And so I'm just going to wrap a title around it. And you can see market share, the different companies down here. And there are all different kinds of ways to play with this. So let me take you to another slide where we can actually play with this. Here I have the same slide. I'm going to go into a work view and show you that right here, if I click on the slide, I can go into, let's see, is it design? No, I'm sorry. Let's see, is it, oh, here we go, chart design. And I can change it up. You know, there's many different functions I can go to. In this case, I picked this one because it has a contrasting element to it. So let's not use a lot of text in our slides. Let's try to use charts and graphs and maps and